Forget your job title, forget your resume, forget that killer opening line you've been practicing. Because the real story of how a room sees you, the kind of respect you get before you even say a word, is decided in that little bit of space between your ears and your shoulders. It's a silent broadcast and it's incredibly powerful. It determines if you're seen as a leader or, well, not. Today we're going to decode this hidden language. We're going inside the architecture of what I call status shoulders. And it all starts with a paradox, a real head-scratcher. Just think about this for a second. Why would exposing your most vulnerable spot, your neck, right where your main arteries are, be the single biggest signal of security and power? In the wild, a wolf shows submission by exposing its throat to the alpha. But for us, it's the complete opposite. The leader, the person truly in control, is the one who is so comfortable they can just leave this area totally undefended. You see, a room's perception of you isn't decided by what you say first, but by this tiny, crucial space. It's a biological truth that just completely bypasses logic.
So that brings us to what we can call the postural paradox. And look, this has nothing to do with conscious thought. We are talking about a primitive social sorting mechanism that's been wired into our brains for thousands and thousands of years. It's a super fast evaluation system, and it's designed to answer just one question: who's in charge here? Long before your thinking brain has time to process words and arguments, your gut, your limbic brain, has already scanned the room, read all the physical signals, and decided on a hierarchy. Your body is having a full-blown conversation with everyone else before you even open your mouth. And you know what? That conversation is often the one that matters most.
So here's the core idea, the absolute heart of it. Your perceived authority is often decided by the involuntary tension in your shoulder girdle, specifically those trapezius muscles that connect your neck to your shoulders. These muscles are hardwired directly into your fight or flight response. The second you feel pressure, they contract. This is the whole anatomy of status shoulders. It's a system where your body is constantly broadcasting one of two signals: a signal of internal friction, of bracing for an impact, or a signal of total ease, of being completely relaxed even when things are chaotic. One signals danger, the other signals command.
And this leads to this hidden cost, like an authority tax, that so many smart, competent, ambitious people are paying without even knowing it. Just picture this. A brilliant analyst is presenting data to the board. She knows her stuff, inside and out. But under the pressure of all those eyes on her, her shoulders start creeping up towards her ears. She is paying the tax. Her physical state is literally undermining her intellectual credibility, second by second. And over a whole career, this tax just compounds. It leads to missed promotions, lost influence, and great ideas that just never get the buy-in they absolutely deserved.
Let's put a name to the main culprit here. We'll call it the shoulder hike. When you're in a high-pressure moment, a tense meeting, a tough negotiation, heck, even a first date, your brain can interpret that social stress as a real physical threat. And what does it do? Subconsciously, it triggers this ancient protective startle response. It pulls your shoulders up towards your neck, trying to armor those arteries. Now, on the inside, this actually feels like you're gearing up, right? You feel focused, sharp, there's a little jolt of adrenaline, but on the outside, to everybody else, it just reads as fear. It looks like you're flinching, bracing for a punch that isn't even coming.
And that perception, well, it creates two totally different realities. On one side, you have the victim signal. Hike shoulders, tense frame, you're basically broadcasting stress. And the result? People instinctively feel like they can interrupt you more. They'll probably challenge your ideas more aggressively. They might even just write you off without consciously knowing why. It's almost like your body is inviting them to take over the interaction. But on the other side, you've got the stability signal. Shoulders down, relaxed, open frame. This signals ease and control. It invites people to collaborate, it builds trust, and it commands respect without you having to say a thing. You are non-verbally telling everyone, "I've got this handled," which just makes them want to follow your lead.
The impact of this postural tax is just huge. You can have the best data, the most brilliant argument, the most perfectly crafted words, but it doesn't matter. You are fighting an uphill battle of logic while your skeleton is signaling to everyone in the room that you are already defeated. Your argument is being heard by their logical brain, sure, but your posture is being read by their emotional, gut-level brain. And in a fight between logic and instinct, instinct wins every single time. Your body's signals can completely betray and even cancel out your words.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's a biological default setting that can totally undermine our best efforts. So now let's pivot to the solution. And this isn't about faking it till you make it or striking some weird power pose. No, this is about taking conscious control over these involuntary systems. We can actually understand and project authority through a core framework, a four-phase system that lets you align your physical presence with your actual intelligence and intent.
So here they are, the 4 integrated phases. It all starts with phase 1, a depressed baseline. This means you are actively keeping your shoulders low and wide, signaling total ease. This physically opens up your chest, which lets you breathe deeper, which in turn calms your heart rate and actually deepens your vocal tone. Phase 2 is horizontal space capture. Look, status is communicated through width, not height. Think about taking up space with your arms on a conference table, not puffing out your chest like a gorilla, which just reads as aggression. Third, and this one might be the most important, is economic motion. The most powerful people in any room are often the most still. They get rid of all that anxious fidgeting, the pen clicking, the leg shaking. Their stillness creates this kind of gravitational pull that forces everyone else to pay attention. And finally, phase 4, the big payoff, the mirroring effect. Your deep relaxation becomes contagious. Through a process called limbic resonance, you become the group's regulatory anchor, subconsciously calming down the nervous systems of everyone around you just by being there.
So why does this work so incredibly well? I mean, it almost feels like a cheat code for social dynamics, right? But it's not magic, it's pure psychology. This whole system works because it taps into the mental shortcuts, the heuristics, that our brains are using every single second to make sense of the world and sort the people in it. Understanding the why behind it is really the key to mastering this authentically. It really comes down to this idea of the brain as a metabolic miser. See, our brains are fundamentally designed to conserve energy. Thinking hard, doing conscious, logical analysis, that burns a ton of calories. So to save fuel, the brain creates shortcuts. Instead of doing a full, deep analysis of every single person we meet, it relies on these rapid-fire nonverbal cues for social sorting. It's asking simple questions: friend or foe, leader or follower, threat or resource. And posture is one of the most data-rich, fastest shortcuts it has. A tense frame is an immediate red flag, a relaxed frame gets an instant green light.
This all taps into something called the confidence heuristic. Here's how it works. First, low, relaxed shoulders send an honest signal that your nervous system is regulated. It shows you aren't in fight or flight, you are calm and in control. Second, our brains take that signal of calm and use it as a stand-in, a proxy for other valuable traits. Why? Well, from an evolutionary standpoint, only someone who's competent, who has handled threats before, could afford to be so calm under pressure. So we unconsciously link that calm to things like intelligence, reliability, and competence. And finally, at the most basic level, if a person isn't physically guarding themselves, if their neck is exposed, we just subconsciously assume they must have the resources or the status to be that secure. It's a powerful signal that totally bypasses our logical filters.
Okay, so knowing the architecture and the psychology is one thing, but the real power, of course, comes from actually using it. It's about shifting from unconscious reaction to conscious command of your own body. So let's get into the practical, actionable tactics you can use to manage these signals and reclaim your physical frame, especially when the pressure is really on.
Here is your first and most immediate tool, the scapular reset. The second you feel that pressure building, that familiar urge to tense up, you bring your awareness inside your body. First, you just consciously visualize your shoulder blades, your scapulae. Then, you actively slide them down your back, almost like you're trying to tuck them into the opposite back pockets of your pants. Take a deep breath while you do it. This one single subtle move instantly kills that victim signal. It mechanically pulls your shoulders down and back, opens up your posture, and sets a new, stable baseline for you to operate from. You can do this right before walking into a big meeting or even in the middle of a tense conversation. And the best part? No one will ever notice.
Another really powerful tactic is what we'll call the asymmetric lean. A perfectly symmetrical, rigid posture can actually look like a subordinate who's waiting for orders. Think of a soldier standing at attention. It signals that you're ready to react, not to act. But by simply breaking that symmetry, you signal comfort and ownership of the space. This could be as simple as shifting your weight to one leg while you're standing, or leaning one shoulder against a wall, or even just draping an arm over the back of an empty chair next to you. These tiny adjustments communicate a huge degree of comfort. They basically say, I'm at home here. I own this space, and I am not threatened by anything happening. It's a very subtle shift from looking prepared to looking presidential. Now, this is a really crucial point. This is all about responsibility. This knowledge isn't about manipulating people or just asserting dominance for the sake of it. It's about leadership. Real authority comes from using your own stable, relaxed frame to make other people feel safe. In any high-stakes situation, anxiety is like a virus. It's contagious. Your job as a leader isn't to add your own stress to the mix, but to become the anchor for everyone else's anxiety. Your calm nervous system becomes a resource for the entire team, and it creates the psychological safety that people need to think clearly, to collaborate, and to do their best work. You can literally stabilize a room just by being the calmest person in it.
At the end of the day, the most powerful presence in any room is simply the person with the least amount of internal noise. It's not about puffing up your chest or forcing some kind of commanding presence. That's just another form of tension. True mastery is the ability to be the widest, the most relaxed, and the most open person in the middle of the storm. It's a quiet confidence that just radiates outward and sets the tone for everybody else. So here's the one mental weapon I want you to leave with today. Stop trying to look big, start trying to look relaxed.